Now we'll create these grapes. Don't worry, it won't be that hard. Create a circle and duplicate it a few times. We can select 3 copies and then duplicate them. Now select this group and duplicate it. We can already see a figure forming. Rotate some grapes to make it more irregular. Of course, these are also clip arts, but we won't use them right now. So we haven't done anything special. We built this figure by duplicating one simple circle. Switch to the ellipse tool and draw a large circle. This way we'll be able to see in detail how to make one grape. Change its colour to green. We'll now use the interactive fill tool icon. As you remember, there are 2 tools under this icon, interactive fill and mesh fill. Select the interactive fill tool. Click here, hold the mouse button and drag the cursor to the bottom corner of the page. We can now modify this gradient effect by dragging the slim rectangle. To add a new colour, click twice on this line. When the colour icon is selected, we set a new gradient colour. Let's choose yellow. Click twice to add colour. Select the square and select a new colour. Let's try it again. Click twice to add a colour. Select the square and select a new colour. If we hold the mouse button while selecting the colour, a palette will appear. We can change the type of this effect by playing with the options on the property bar. From this drop-down list we can choose other gradient types. Let's select radial gradient type. Move this cursor and this colour. Click twice to delete a colour. Select the bottom colour. We can change this colour by clicking on the right palette or by expanding this drop-down list right here. You can also click on the More and choose Colour from the whole colour palette. We can switch Models or Mixers tab and choose the colour we like most. So we can also create a gradient which has only 2 colours. We can edit, move and modify the gradient. It's all up to us. As you can see, there are many colours to choose from. Let's select a light green colour. So, now we know how to use the interactive fill tool. Now we'll create a dark green outline for our figure. You can do that by either clicking on the right mouse button on one of the colours placed on the right, or by clicking on the outline pen tool icon. Click on the pen outline tool. Select a colour from the drop-down list. Well, let's choose this one. Now we'll change the width of the outline. Go to Outline Pen tool. Click on the 0.007 inch outline preset. Remember that when we scale a figure, the outline stays the same. Of course, we can change this. Click on the Outline Pen tool. To scale the figure and the outline together, we need to activate the Scale with Object button. But we don't need this option now. Click on Cancel. Let's make the outline width bigger. Now we can clearly see that when we scale the figure, the outline stays the same. Let's set the outline width back to 0.007 inches. So, how can we now copy the look of this big figure onto a grape figure? Select Grape Figure. Go to Eyedropper Tool menu. Here we have 2 tools, Colour Eyedropper and Attributes Eyedropper. Select the Colour Eyedropper tool and move your cursor over the green figure. As you can see, the eyedropper takes colour from only one specific point. Click once, the cursor changed into a bucket. Move your cursor over the grapes. When the square next to the bucket is full, it means that we can change the fill. When the square next to the bucket is empty, it means that we can change the colour of the outline. Click on the grape. So this tool picked only one colour. It didn't pick the whole gradient effect. Now we can fill the grapes one by one. So the colour eyedropper tool takes only one simple colour which we can apply to other figures. Let's now talk about the attribute eyedropper. Let's upscale this one grape. So with the colour eyedropper we can select only one specific colour. Once we click on this colour, the cursor will change into a bucket and we can fill another figure with it. Select the attribute eyedropper. Click on the big figure to pick the colour. Now click on this figure to fill it with the colour. As you can see, the attribute eyedropper tool took the whole gradient and transferred it to the other figure. But how can we fill all these figures at once? Select all the grapes, switch to attribute eyedropper, pick the gradient colour from the bigger figure and click on the selected grapes. As you can see, we transfer the colour only to one figure at a time. Let's try some keyboard shortcuts. Hold Ctrl and Alt. Nothing works. Well, at least we know how eyedropper tools work. So, eyedropper tool group consists of colour eyedropper and attribute eyedropper. Colour eyedropper selects only one specific colour, while attribute colour can select the whole gradient. Switch to the white cursor and select this grape figure. Go to the Edit menu and click on Copy Properties From. Click on this option. Activate all three options: Fill, Outline Colour and Outline Pen. Make sure that everything is checked and click OK. Now, click on the bigger figure. As you can see, the gradient and the outline settings were transferred to all selected elements. Select the grape figure, go to Arrange menu and click on Group. Grouping doesn't destroy the figures or modify them forever. It's just easier to edit the grouped elements. Now we need to change the colour of some of the elements. To select an object without ungrouping, hold Ctrl and click the figure you want to select. Let's set a dark colour for this grape. Hold Ctrl and select another grape and change its colour. We can also click Uniform Fill tool. Switch to Models tab and choose a colour from the CMYK palette. We can also use the Mixer tab. Once you've chosen a colour, click OK. Press Shift and F4. Let's now talk about how we can change the colour of this grouped figure. Go to the Effects menu, then Adjust and click on one of the active options. Let's click on Hue, Saturation, Lightness. Click on this lock button to activate the preview mode and play with the scroll bars to change the colour of the selected figure. Let's try another option. Go to the Effects menu, then Adjust and click on Gamma. Click on the lock button to activate the preview and start playing with the gamma value. We want to have a little stronger colour, so let's move the scroll bar to the left. Well, this'll do. Click OK. So it's pretty easy to use these options. We just need to experiment until we get the best result. Now we'll create a leaf. To do that, we'll use the Polyline tool. This tool is a mixture of Bezier and freehand tools. Select the Polyline tool. Draw the leaf. We can make many nodes if we want. Now, hold the mouse and use this tool like a freehand tool. So, thanks to two modes of the Polyline tool, we can easily create this leaf figure. Keep working on the leaf and move the cursor to the starting point. Remember to close the figure. When the arrow appears next to the cursor, it means that we can close the figure. Let's now set the colour of our leaf. The colour was applied, which means that our figure is closed. As you can see, the figure we've created was automatically smoothened. Let's now correct the shape of our figure by modifying the placement of some of the nodes. Now we'll make little cuts in our figure. Switch to Polygon tool and create a triangle. Duplicate the triangle several times and place the copies at the edge of the leaf figure. Select all elements and click on the trim icon. Now press Shift and F4. We don't need these triangles anymore. Select all triangles and delete them. Upscale the leaf a little. Now we'll cut this figure into two separate parts. We'll do that with a path that we'll create with the Bezier tool. Select the Bezier tool. Well, maybe the freehand tool will be better. Select the freehand tool and draw a line in the middle of the leaf. Make sure that the line starts before the figure and ends outside it. The line is placed on top and it's an open object. Select both figures and click on the trim icon. As you can see, we've successfully trimmed the figure. Delete the trimming line, but we need to do one more thing to make these figures completely separate. Go to Arrange menu and click on Break Curve Apart. Click on the side to deselect. Now we can select each part separately. Let's move one part a little. As you can see, the figure was successfully cut. Press Ctrl Z, select the right figure and change its colour to dark green. Select the figure on the left and set its colour to light green. Select both parts to go to the Outline Pen tool icon menu and click on No Outline. Now we'll group both parts together. Select both parts of the leaf. Go to Arrange menu and click on Group. Now we'll create the top elements with the Artistic Media tool. Switch to Artistic Media tool. Let's lock the leaf figure. This way it won't get in our way when we'll be working with Artistic Media tool. Switch to Artistic Media tool and choose a stroke preset. Now, draw the spine of the leaf. Let's make the width of this line a little bigger. Now draw some lines on each half of the leaf. Let's change the freehand smoothing option to 20. Keep drawing lines on the leaf. Of course, all these strokes are placed on paths. Let's change the colour of the strokes to grey. Switch to Shape tool. As you can see, we can add new nodes and modify these. Switch back to Artistic Media tool. Change the freehand smoothing option to 8 and draw lines on the other half of the leaf. Since we've made the freehand smoothing option smaller, the lines will now look more natural. Create the tail of the leaf. Well, let's try it again. Switch to other stroke presets and draw some more lines. Keep working on these figures until you decide that you have enough lines. Switch to wireframe view. Go to the view menu and click on wireframe. Let's zoom in a little. As you remember, we've locked the bottom leaf figure. Select all strokes, go to Arrange menu and click on Break Selected Objects Apart. Now, delete all paths that were separated from strokes. It's not that important, but by doing it this way we'll work only with the figures. We'll weld all these elements together to make them one figure. Select these elements, hold Shift and add some more figures to the selection. Click on the weld icon. These elements will have a different colour from the rest. Let's switch back to normal view. As you can see, there's still one last path for us to delete. Switch to wireframe view, delete the path and go back to normal view. Select these two paths and click on the weld icon. Let's set the colour. Now select these paths on the left, weld them and change their colour. So we'll have 3 objects and each of them will have a different shade of grey. As you can see, there are some empty spaces here. Switch to Shape tool and correct this figure. Just try to make it more natural. Change the placement of some of the nodes. Play with the path and direction line handles. Once they're ready, switch back to normal view. Press Shift and F4, select all the figures, go to Arrange menu and click on Unlock All Objects. Go to Arrange menu again and click on Group. Make the leaf a little smaller, then move the grapes to the right. So we're working with groups. With about 4 groups in the leaf figure and the same amount in grape figure. Now scale the leaf and position it on top of the grapes. Select both figures and group them. Now we'll place this element in our logo. Downscale the figure a little. Now duplicate this figure. Drag it with the left mouse button and click on the right mouse button. Select the copied figure and mirror it. Select the vital text and the sun. Now we'll align them. Go to Align and Distribute palette. Align the selected figures horizontally. Go to Arrange menu and click on Group. Now we have 3 grouped figures, 2 grapes and the vital logo. Select the first grape figure, hold Shift and add 2 other elements to the selection. Align the figures vertically. Let's also distribute these objects evenly. To do that, click on the Distribute Center horizontally. Close the Align and Distribute palette. Select all figures and downscale them. Press Shift and F4 and then Ctrl S to save the changes.